Hey, this is Step Amit. Welcome to my exorcism.io series. In this video, I'll be working through the flatten array exercise from the exorcism.io Ruby track. In this exercise, what we've been tasked with is taking a nested list and returning a single flattened list with all values except for nil or null. And there is a sort of cheaty Ruby way to do it that I will show you. But then there's also, actually, I'll show it to you at the end because I want to actually implement this using a recursive function, which I think is really what they're getting at. It's kind of the proper way to do it. All right, so let me enter flatten array directory, start a new tmx session. So looking at the test file, I see I have a flatten array class with a class level method flatten. And that's it. It will return an array, and then we're just going to compare what we've been given. So see, it just turns this nested array into a flat array, arbitrarily deep, and removes any nills. Okay, I think this will be pretty straightforward. Let me go ahead and open my testing pane, run my tests, which will fail, of course, because I need to create the file. I'm going to need to initialize flatten array and then implement our flatten method. And we actually need to accept one argument here that I'm going to start out by calling array, because it looks like every example we've been given, we're past an array, everything we're testing for right now, and we're returning nil. And since we were past that array that is expecting, I'm just going to return array right now to get this first test passing. But this is not going to last very long, because on this very next test, we have to actually implement the whole thing. I mean, I suppose I don't know of a way to do it except for implementing the whole thing. And now sort of the cheaty way to do this would be to just call Ruby's built-in flatten method on array. And I think that'll work. Let me just check the last test here. I think that'll work for everything. Oh, no, it doesn't, because it leaves the array. Flatten.compact will do the trick. So if you really want to know how to solve this problem in Ruby, this is sort of the cutting the Gordian knot method. Is just array flatten compact. And this is what I would actually write in production code. But where's the fun in that? Let's actually do this ourselves. And so what I want to do here is I want this to become a recursive function. And I want to call it for each element in my array, and continue to do that all the way down to the bottom level. And ultimately what I want to do is I want to return the original single items as arrays, and I want to reconstruct it. Let me show you what I mean here. The way I want to do this, I'm going to need to flatten array.first, because I want to take that first item. It's not enough to return just first, because the first item could itself be an array, nested arbitrarily deep. So I need to take that and I need to add that together with the results of calling flatten on array. And what I want is every other element, all the remaining elements in the array. That I want that array. And so the easiest way to do that is starting at position 1 all the way up to minus 1. And so this won't work right now because we get in this situation here. Undefined method first for integer. So we might be passing in an integer here. So let's see if it would work for us to convert this to an array here. I think this might not work. Yeah, we just get into a perpetual loop by doing it that way. So what we need to do instead is we need to inspect this on the way in. So what happens if I pass in something that's not an array? Well, what I want to do is return that item converted to an array. So I want to return, and so what this is, if you haven't seen it before, I describe it in another video as well. This is a method on kernel that is a shorthand method for converting whatever you give it to an array. It goes through several different attempts trying to convert whatever you give it into an array so that you get an array. You're going to get an array back if you call that. I often use this to sanitize input to make sure that I've got what I think I have without having to check the type. But I'm going to turn around here and check the type. I want to convert it to an array. I want to return it converted to an array unless array is a array. That's what I want to do. And that should, okay, wait a second. Class or my, oh yeah, sorry. Have to actually capitalize that. And so in this case, it's a little weird to call this array. I think I'm going to call it maybe array. And that's it. And I think that's going to get me all the way through the rest of these. That's it. Cool. All right. Go ahead and submit this. And I'll see you in the next video.